Good day, grade 12 learners. Welcome to today's business studies lesson. My name is Tsidiso Tlhaka. This lesson is brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education in collaboration with the Sci-Bono Discovery Center, broadcasted by the Phakama Research and Development. Today we look into business studies, and the main topic we look into is the business operation, and the subtopic we look into is your quality of performance. And this will be assessed in your paper 1. So remember your business operations, you have 2 subtopics. You have one, which is the human resources. It was covered in your paper 1. And we have one in term 2, which is quality of performance. Now, this is your term 2. Let us look into our learning objectives. We'll be looking into quality of performance. And by the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand the following. You should be able to define the following concepts. The first one is the term quality. You should also be able to define the term quality control and be able to define the term quality assurance, then define quality management, then define quality performance. Then you should also be able to differentiate between quality control and quality assurance. You should also be able to differentiate between quality management and quality performance and explain the advantages or benefits of a good quality management system. And as we proceed, you should also be able to understand the following. You should be able to explain or discuss how quality performance can contribute to the success or failure of each business function. You should also be able to outline the quality indicators for each business function and be able to identify the business function from a given scenario and motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. And you should further be able to elaborate on the meaning of TQM, which is total quality management, and be able to identify total quality management elements from given scenarios or statements, and be able to explain or evaluate the impact of the total quality management elements on a large business. You should also be able to explain how businesses can apply the PDCA model, which is the plan, do, check, and act as needed model or steps to improve the quality of the product, and explain the role or importance of quality cycle as part of the continuous improvement of processes and systems. You should further be able to explain or discuss the impact of total quality management if poorly implemented by businesses, and proceed by explaining or recommending or suggesting ways in which TQM or total quality management can reduce the cost of quality. Now, terminology that is important for this lesson is the term quality, which refers to products or services that satisfy needs and exceed customer expectations on a continuous basis. So when we are saying a product is quality, it should be able to satisfy a customer need and exceed customer expectation. Then we have business functions. This refers to various aspects of the business that perform different roles, e.g. we have marketing, production, administration, financial, human resources, and purchasing, just to name a few. They contribute towards the value that the business wants to create for their customers. And then we also have the term improvement, which refers to making or becoming better at something. And then we also have the term adequate, which refers to enough. And then we also have the term evaluation, which refers to making a judgment or to check. And another term that is important is the term small business. With small businesses, we are referring to businesses with fewer employees, resources, and which make less profit. And then we also have large businesses, which are businesses with more employees, resources, and make more profit. Then we also have the term quality cycle, which refers to a small group of voluntary workers who meet on a regular basis to discuss quality-related matters at the workplace. Then we also have the term duplicate, which refers to an exact copy of an activity or a product. Now, the first concept as per our learning objective is to define what does the term quality mean. Quality refers to a goods or a service's ability to satisfy a specific need. That is quality. So if a customer wants to buy a product, it's because they have a need. And if that need is satisfied, then that product is quality. For instance, let's say we have customer A and customer B. And then both customers want to buy a gown because it's cold. So if they want to buy a gown, it doesn't matter how much is the gown. Let's say customer A buys a gown for 500 and then customer B buys a gown for 150. So they both need the gown because they want to satisfy a specific need. The need is to be warm. So if customer A buys a gown for 500 and customer B buys a gown for 150, then if they both now wear their gowns and they feel warm, it means now both the gowns are quality because they are able to satisfy a specific need, and their specific need was to be warm. That's why they decided that they wanted to buy the gowns. So that's what quality is. It is an ability of a product to satisfy a specific need. And then when we are looking into now the quality of a service, remember a service is experience. Businesses like a car wash run a service rendering business. Businesses like a hair salon run a service rendering business. So for them to offer quality service, their service should be the efficiency of a service and the ability to provide an effective outcome without too many delays. Then immediately the service provides your effective outcomes without too many delays, then we consider that service to be quality because there's no too many delays there. So a customer should get effective outcomes without having to wait for a long time. So basically, if you're taking your car to a car wash and then you don't wait so much time and you also get effective service, then we know that the outcomes determine that the quality is quality. Then we know that the service is quality. Now, we start with the first concept. Normally, the concept quality control, it is applied in your production function. In your what? Production function. Now remember, this is a function that deals with making the product. It makes the product. So in the process of making the product, they have to think about the quality control, which is now the process now of inspecting. But we're going to talk about it and define it. How do we define quality control? This is a system that ensures that desired quality is met by inspecting the final product to ensure that it meets the required standard. So that is your quality control. So basically what happens is that the business has a desired quality. It has a mental image of what the product should look like. So after they have that mental picture of how the product should look like, they will try to make the product. However, when they are done making the product now, quality control is when they inspect the final product. After making the product, they inspect the final product to ensure that it has met the required standards that they had when they had their desire mental picture of what they wanted the product to look like, and they check if the product is quality or not. So the process now of inspecting, of checking if the product is quality, is considered to be quality control. Furthermore, quality control can not only focus on inspecting the final product, because what is key is to understand that the inspection of the final product is done in order to check if the required standards have been met. However, the business also has to check raw materials, employees, or machinery to ensure that high quality standards are maintained. Because before they make the product, they should also inspect the raw material that is going to be used, the machines that are going to be used, and the employees who will be making those products to ensure that high quality standards have been maintained. Because if the raw material is inferior or is not of good quality, then it can ruin the final product. If the employees are not skilled, it can affect the quality of the product as well. And if the machine is not functioning at its optimal level, it can also ruin the quality of the product. So that is quality control. So basically it includes measuring performance and taking corrective measures. So basically the business is going to make the product. After making the product, they measure the performance to say, since we had a desire, which is a mental picture of how we wanted the product to look like, we need to check if the product has met the required standard. So the quality control is measuring, is to check if the product has met its actual quality, and then they take corrective measures. So in other words, we can say quality control is the approval or decline of whether the quality has been met or not. So if it is approved, it means it has been met, but if it is declined, it means now corrective measures have to be taken so that they fix the quality and to ensure that the desired quality will be then achieved. So that is quality control. So as I proceed, quality control again, remember the keywords is inspecting the what? The final product. As you can see, this is the car. So this makes the final product. So basically it is inspecting the final product to ensure that the desired quality has been met. So that is your quality control. Then we have the term quality assurance, which again is used during production. So this quality assurance now is used while they are making the product, while or during the process, during the process of making the product. So quality assurance refers to checks carried out during and after the production process. So basically, while they're making the product, the business would have to check during and after. Remember, the process of making the product differs. Some products takes 10 stages for them to be completed. Some products only take 5 stages for the production to be completed. So during those stages, quality has to be inspected. Then quality assurance again ensures that required standards have been met at every stage of the process. So in the process of making, the business has to ensure that the required standards have been met at every stage of making the product. Furthermore, it is ensuring that every process is aimed at getting the product right the first time and prevent mistakes from happening. That is your quality assurance. The business would have to make sure while making or during the process of making the product. Here, the product is not final. Here, we are still making the product. So while the business is making the product, they would have to inspect to make sure that quality has been met at every stage of the process, so that they ensure they get the product right the first time and prevent mistakes from happening. So your quality assurance would happen during production. As you can see, this is a process of making juice, and with quality assurance, we're talking about checks carried out during and after the production. Before the juice can go to the customer, while the juice is being processed, mixed, then they inspect. They check the taste to say, are we achieving the quality of the orange juice we want to produce? So that is quality assurance, making sure during and after the production process so that you get the product right the first time as a business and prevent mistakes from happening. So let's see here, we have two pictures, quality control versus quality assurance. Check here. Well, let's say this is picture A and this is picture B. Now, which one is quality control and which one is quality assurance between the two? Remember, quality control focuses on inspecting the final product, but quality assurance, those are checks carried out during and after the production process. So when you check the two pictures, which one is quality control and which one is quality assurance? So let me just give you 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I know you have your answer there and you have decided to say quality control is it picture A or B? So for me, quality control is picture B. Why are we saying picture B is quality control? Is because we are inspecting, the car is final here. So the inspection of the final product, remember that the inspection of the final product. But with quality assurance here, we are looking into checks carried out during the car is not complete. You see there's no wheels here, so it means this is during the process of making the car. So this makes it quality. This makes it quality assurance. Now, that is how you should know, and this is how you should understand the difference between the two, quality control and assurance. Then we have quality management. This refers to tools used to design or improve the quality of a product. And then these tools can be used for accountability within each of the business function, meaning each business function should have a tool that they use now to design or improve the quality of a product. And then furthermore, the aim, why is the business or why would a business need quality management? So that they ensure that quality of goods and services is consistent on the means to achieve consistency. So it's to ensure that every product is consistent. Hence, the use of tools will be important to improve the quality of the product. And those tools will be used for accountability. I'm sure you're asking yourself, which tools? The tools we are referring to can be, for instance, a checklist. A checklist can be used for accountability to check how things are happening in the process of producing maybe the product, to check how each function is working. You can use the checklist. As you can see here, the manager is using now the tool to inspect the product. So hence we call it the what now? The tool. So a tool can be a checklist to check on the quality of the product. Then we look into quality performance. With quality of performance, the focus is on how each function is performing or how the entire organization is performing in terms of quality. So when the business wants to check quality performance, they need to ensure that the total performance of each department is measured against their specified standards. We know that each department performs a different role. We know marketing is there to ensure that customers are aware of the product that is being sold. We know that administration will ensure that information is stored and is safe. And we know that your public relation would be a function that focuses on maintaining a positive image for the business. So each function would be measured against their specified standards to say, are they performing as per the target that are set by the business? If, for instance, in production, remember, your production is a function that makes the product. So we say maybe our production has to produce 200 products. So if they are measuring their performance, they would say per day is the production of company so-and-so being able to produce 200. If they are failing to produce 200 products, it means their quality performance is below target. So that's what we mean. We measure if each function it is doing its role as per their specific standards or as per their rules and responsibilities. And then quality performance of the entire organization or business can only be achieved if all departments, meaning the 8 business functions, work together towards the same quality standard, because there is a relationship between the 8 business functions. They work together. There's a relationship there. So if they all work together, then they will be able to achieve the quality performance of the entire organization, meaning they'll be able to satisfy the customer's needs and exceed expectation continuously. Then as we proceed, we have again, quality can be measured through the physical products or surveys of the users and or buyers of the goods or services. So again, the measure can be used. The measure a business can use is the product that they're selling to customers. They can ask customers on whether they're happy or not about the service and about how the product is delivered to them. So your quality performance is basically when a business would be measuring if the are offering quality, and also they will be checking or calculating how each function is doing inside the business. So that is your quality performance, is the measure to say, are we achieving 100% or less? So that is basically your quality of performance, to say each function, are they doing their roles and responsibilities. Now we look into the benefits of a good quality management system. Now, the benefits of a good quality management system, the focus there is on the 4 concepts, or to say the 5 concepts: your quality control, quality assurance, quality management, and quality performance. If a business is able to use all those concepts and integrate those concepts inside and apply those concepts, then they have a good quality management system, because they will ensure that products are inspected at the critical stages. They will also make sure that they render good quality to customers, and they will also make sure that they check during the process. They will also make sure that they use tools to improve the quality of their product. They will also measure the performance of each function to say, if some function is not doing well, how do we improve that particular function? So it means they will be having a good quality management system. So the advantages or the benefits of using your quality, as we said, quality control, quality assurance, and management together with performance, it comes with now an advantage to the business. The first one is the idea that effective customer services are rendered, resulting in increased customer satisfaction. So that means customers are going to be satisfied because they are going to render effective services, because they have management that is in place to ensure that goods or services achieve consistency. Furthermore, time and resources are going to be used efficiently due to the quality management again. Then furthermore, the productivity will increase through proper time management and using high quality resources. So productivity will increase because they also do quality assurance checks carried out during and after to ensure now that quality has been met at each and every stage. So that will increase productivity because there'll be proper time management as they inspect during, and then they'll use high quality resources. Furthermore, products or services are constantly improved. Why? Because they'll be using quality management. Remember, tools available to improve the quality of their products. So they will constantly improve their products and services, resulting in what? Increased levels of customer satisfaction. So that is the use of what now? Quality management, quality performance, quality assurance, and control. That makes a good quality management system. Furthermore, now that customers will be satisfied, now that they inspect the final product, they check during and after the production process, it means now the vision and mission and the business goals will be achieved or may be achieved because of offering quality products. And then another advantage is that the business has a competitive advantage over its competitors. You'd find that the competitors are not inspecting their final product. You'd find that the competitors are suffering because now they can lose customers if they just sell the products without inspecting. But because the business would be doing quality control and assurance, they'll be able to satisfy customers, and that will be considered to be a competitive advantage to say the business is able to inspect the final product while other businesses are not able to inspect the final product. So that will be the competitive advantage to say while they are competing with other businesses, the business will be able to inspect while others are not able to inspect. The business will have tools to improve while others will not be having tools to improve. So that is the benefits or advantages of a good quality management system. Then we move to the business functions now. Remember, we have 8 business functions. The first one is the general management, the production function, the purchasing function. We also have the marketing function together with the financial function, the public relation function, the administrative function. We also have the human resource. So we have 8 business functions that now we will be focusing on how they contribute towards the success of the business, or their quality indicators. With quality indicators, we are saying, how is the general management contributing to the success of the business? In their roles, how are they contributing to the business making more money? And remember, they can only contribute to the success if they become ethical, if they make more profit, and if they save the costs of the business. So that is how they can contribute towards the success of the business. That is the focus, to say now, how can each function contribute to the success of the business? So this is more of checking the quality performance, to say this is what is required from each function for the function to contribute to the success. So what is key is that we need to understand what each function has to do, what is the role of each function, before we talk about how it can contribute to the success of the business. Now, we start with the first function, which is general management. General management is a function that sets the vision, mission, and objectives of the business. So that is your general management. It basically gives the business direction and sets a vision, objective, and goals that have to be achieved by the business. In our everyday language, this would be considered an office that is held by the chief executive officer, who oversees the day-to-day runnings of the business and ensures that the business now achieves their objectives, and they also set the strategic plans for the business. Now, let us look into how the general management contributes to the success of the business. If now the general management function is developing effective strategic plans, then they're contributing to the success, because it means their strategic plans would be working for the business. They would be making money for the business. And remember, a strategy is a plan of action to address an opportunity or to solve a problem. So if they come up with plans that help the business to take the opportunity in the market and solve whatever business problems, it means now they are contributing to the success of the business. Furthermore, if the general management, as the overseers of the vision of the business, they need to learn about changes in the business environment, to say, now there's COVID, let's now try to adapt by maybe coming up with online purchases, or allowing online shopping, so that customers can still buy regardless of the issue of COVID and social distancing and the mask and the capacity inside the shop. So if they are able to learn about those changes from the business environments, which can be market and macro, because those are environments that the business cannot control, so they will be able now to contribute to the success of the business, because they learn about the changes in the business environment on the ongoing basis and come up with strategies to solve those challenges. Furthermore, if they're able to set now the direction and establish priorities for their businesses, they are contributing to the success, because resources will be allocated to priorities of the business than any other thing, which will make profit for the business. So that would be, or that would mean the business is contributing to the success of the business. And we know that the general management, as now a function that sets the mission, vision, and objective, is contributing to the success of the business. Then we have production function. The production function is responsible for converting raw material into usable products. So basically, this is a function that produces or makes the product for the business, as you can see on the picture. Now, let's see how the production function contributes to the success of the business. One, if the production function now provides high quality services or products according to the specification, then that is considered to be your quality indicator, or that is considered to be how the production function is contributing to the success, because they are able to provide high quality services or products according to customer specifications. Because remember, there are some businesses that make a product according to customer specification. If a customer maybe wants to buy a car, they would specify that we want our car maybe to have leather seats, we want our car to have a camera, we want our car to have an audio radio. So basically those specifications, if the business is able or the production function is able to make a product according to those specifications, they are contributing to the success. Furthermore, as a function that makes the product, if they ensure that products and services should be produced at the lowest possible cost to allow profit maximization, that is how they are also contributing to the success, because they are able to make sure that they save resources so that all products are made using lowest possible cost to allow the profit to maximize. Furthermore, businesses should clearly communicate the roles and responsibilities to the production workforce so that everyone who's working in the function understand the role or their responsibility in the process of making the product. And then the production function, again, they can contribute to the success by making sure that they utilize machines and equipment optimally. So what we mean here is that if the machine of the business is supposed to produce 100 products, then the machine should produce 100. But if now it doesn't produce 100, maybe let's say it produces 80, it means that production function is not contributing to the success because they are failing to meet the target, which is 100. So hoping you understand that part. And then they should also be able to accurately calculate the production cost to say how much does it cost to make the product. Then if they're able to calculate, then they're also contributing to the success because the business can then be able to calculate the profit they have made. Now, let's see another function, which is the purchasing function. The purchasing function is responsible for now buying raw material or any other item needed by the business. So that is your purchasing. And they also collect and they also make sure they check to say how long will it take or when will the product be delivered. That is your purchasing function. How the purchasing function contributes to the success of the business. This is how they can buy raw material in bulk in order to ensure that the prices are lowered. So buy raw material in bulk at a lower prices, and then select reliable suppliers that render best quality raw material and capital goods at a reasonable price. So they should also select a supplier who does what? Renders best quality raw material and or capital goods at a reasonable price so that quality is not compromised. Furthermore, they should place orders on time and do regular follow-ups to ensure that goods are delivered on time. So they are contributing to the success because they don't want production to stop because of no raw material. Let's say if there's no raw material, will they be able to start working? No. Let's say you are running maybe a bunny chow tech shop. Will you be able to run your bunny chow without raw material? Let's say they've ordered potatoes late. That would mean now the production cannot take place. The business cannot start selling because there's no raw material. So if they're contributing to their success, they would place orders on time and do regular follow-ups to ensure that goods are delivered on time. Then we have the marketing function. The marketing function makes customers aware of the product sold by the business. So this is making sales to encourage people to come by, ensuring that you make your special offers and maybe taking advantage of Black Friday to ensure that customers come and buy and you advertise to make them aware. So how the marketing function now can contribute to the success of the business. This is how they will be contributing to the success if they increase their market share. So if they increase the market share of the business, they are contributing to the success. How? Because let me just use an example of your normal cars that you see every day. We normally see VW, we also see Toyota, and we also see maybe BMW. So the market share, let's say these are the only cars available in South Africa. So if VW is increasing the market share, let's say out of 100%, we have calculated the customers to be 100%. So if BM had maybe 30 and Toyota had 50%, then your VW had 20%. If VW increases their percentage to be 30, and BMW maybe loses maybe 10% and now they have 20% of their customers, it means VW have they were able to increase their market share by 10%. So that's what we mean, because in the market, there are many buyers and sellers, and there are many sellers. So the sellers share the customers. So if one business is able to have a larger share of the customers, then they are contributing to the success. And remember, the function that would make sure that the customers are satisfied is the marketing function, and by making sure that they attract as well the number of customers. And then they can also contribute to the success of the business as a marketing function by winning customers by satisfying their needs and wants. Winning customers by satisfying their needs and wants. And also building a relationship or a positive relationship with the customers. And then they can further communicate, or making sure that communicating effectively with customers by getting feedback about their experience of the products sold and service rendered. So that can also win customers for the business, because the business would be having customers, and the customers would appreciate a business that constantly check whether they were satisfied or not. And then they can also use pricing techniques to ensure that they have competitive advantage over other businesses. So that also can be considered to be part and parcel of your competitive advantage as the marketing function. Then we also have the financial function, which is responsible for controlling how a business uses their money. So basically, that is your financial function. Let's see how it contributes to the success. One, they obtain capital from the most reliable sources. So if the financial function of the business is able to get money from the most reliable sources, then that is considered to be contributing to the success of the business. Another one is that if they are able to negotiate better interest rates in order to keep financial costs down, it means they are contributing to the success, because they are saving money for the business. Furthermore, if they are able to draw up budgets to ensure sufficient application of monetary resources, then it means they will also to contribute to the success of the business, because they are able to ensure that the business keeps to its budget and the money it is used for its purpose, or for the right purposes which benefit the business. And then if they're able to keep the financial records up to date and ensure timelessly or accurate tax payments, they are also contributing to the success of the business, because these are basically the accountants of the business. So they should get capital from the most reliable sources. They should negotiate better interest rates to ensure that they keep the cost of the finances of the business low, and they should draw a budget and make sure that the business complies or uses money according to the budget. So if they are doing that, they are contributing to the success. Then when you look into public relations is responsible for maintaining a positive image of the business. So the image of the business has to do with what is associated with the business, what stakeholders would think about the business. So this function has to make sure that it publishes only positive news about the business, and all the activities that include maybe donating to the community should be made available to the stakeholders, so that they can contribute to the success of the business. So let's see how the public relation contributes to the success of the business. One, if the public relation is dealing quickly with negative publicity, they are contributing to the success of the business. Furthermore, if they are providing regular positive press releases, they are contributing to the success of the business. If they implement sustainable corporate social investment programs, they are also contributing to the success of the business. And if they deliver quality products that promote the image with key stakeholders and customers, then they are also promoting a positive image. Because what is key here is that when they're dealing with negative publicity, they are basically making sure that there's nothing negative that is being announced about the business. And when they're providing positive press releases, they're explaining how maybe the business is developing the skills of their workers. That is positive, because it shows that the business cares. And then again, when they're talking about implementing a sustainable corporate social investment, these are programs that are targeting the communities to help them and give back to the community by maybe donating or improving the infrastructure in the community. So if the business is doing that, that has to be taken, maybe pictures have to be taken, videos have to be taken, and they should try to make sure that it is now available on the newspapers so that a positive image can be maintained. And again, if they deliver quality goods that promote the image, then with the key stakeholders and customers, they are also promoting the positive image of the business. Then we have administration function. Administration function is a function that stores and captures information for the business. So that is your administration. Now, how the administration function contributes to the success of the business. One, if the admin has a function that collects information and stores information, if they make sure that fast and reliable data capturing processes and systems are available, then they are contributing to the success of the business. If they make reliable information available to management on time, they are contributing to the success, because remember, they are saving time. And when I started, I said anything that contributes to the success of the business is it has to do with saving money, saving time, and saving the cost of the business. Furthermore, if they make relevant information available for quick decision making, they are also contributing to the success of the business. And if they're able to use modern technology efficiently to save data and information for the business, then they are also contributing to the success of the business as the administration function. Then we have the last now function, which is the human resources. This is a function responsible for recruiting and looking after employees' needs inside the business. So this would be your employees. So the human resource manager would have to look after those needs. Now, how the human resource function contributes to the success of the business is by making sure that there's a good recruitment policy that attracts best candidates. So the human resource manager has to ensure that the process of recruiting and the process of selecting candidates when they are looking for employees is a good one, so that they attract best candidates who will contribute to more profits and more success of the business. Furthermore, they should ensure that fair and equitable selection processes are applicable, so that when we're talking about equality, remember we're talking about compliance, which can lead to Employment Equity Act, which can lead to affirmative action, which is a policy that says hire those who were previously disadvantaged only if they're suitable and qualified. So they have to ensure that the process of selecting is fair and equitable and it accommodates everyone. Furthermore, they should ensure that there's fair remuneration packages that is aligned to the industry where workers are working. So they should ensure that workers are remunerated or are paid fairly according to the industry they are working in. Now, that is how each function would contribute to the success of the business. Now we look into total quality management. We'll start by looking into the definition. We will also look into your total quality management elements and look into the plan, do, check, and act as needed model, how quality can contribute to reducing the cost of quality and the impact of quality if poorly implemented. And we'll also look into the role or importance of quality cycles in the business. Now, we'll start by defining what is total quality management. Now, this is a system, this is a methodology that will be used by the business to ensure that they satisfy their customers. But that system needs the business to implement inside the organization so that everyone understands their role in the quality management, because the focus of this method is to make sure that the business achieves total customer satisfaction and exceeds customer satisfaction. Now, let us look into the definition of total quality management. Remember, total quality management focuses on achieving customer satisfaction and looks for continuous improvement in all the businesses, processes, products, and services. So that is the first part. Total quality management focuses on achieving customer satisfaction. That is the main objective of this method. This is a method that can be adopted by business when they do their business model, or when they do their activities or procedures, or when they do what they do in order to make customers satisfied. So the method focuses on achieving customer satisfaction and looks for continuous improvement in all business processes, products, and services. That is one. Number two, TQM also enables businesses to continuously improve on how they deliver or the delivery of their product or services in order to satisfy the needs of the customer. So as much as they want to achieve customer satisfaction, it will not be achieved if they do not change how they deliver the product to the customer. The first thing is to improve the product, the process, and the service, which is in our first part of the definition. It continuously improve the business process, products, and services. But again, improve how you deliver the product, how you take the product to the customer also has to improve so that the customer can appreciate. Hence, we see now a lot of grocery retailers have changed how they deliver the product. At first, you used to go there, buy, but now customers can buy online, and then when they go there, they just collect, or sometimes they buy online and they deliver the products directly to their houses. So that is what we are talking about when you say change or improve the delivery of the product or service to satisfy the needs of the customer. Furthermore, total quality management takes steps to ensure full involvement. Now, you can improve how you deliver the product. You can improve the processes, the products, and services. But for total quality management, because remember, quality focuses on customer satisfaction. That's quality. Management is on how you deliver, is on your processes and systems. But then when we are looking now into total, we are focusing on the idea that it takes steps to ensure full involvement, meaning totally everyone, we say full involvement and cooperation of all employees in improving the quality. So totally meaning everyone in the organization. Everyone. And then with quality, we are talking about satisfaction. And then with management, we are focusing on the issue of the processes, to say how are they managed. So everyone, which is now full involvement and cooperation of all employees in improving the quality, because the processes can improve, but if everyone is not included in the process, then they will not be able to achieve total quality management. So that is what we are talking about. So the focus is mainly to achieve customer satisfaction by continuously improving the processes, the product, and services. And again, it focuses on improving how you deliver. And I said, this is how you take the product to the customer. So that is one. And then it also ensures that it focuses on full involvement and cooperation of all employees in improving total quality or the quality of the product. Then we have the total. Now, this is the summary. It focuses on continuous improvement of the what? Of the processes, products, and services, and also on how we deliver the delivery of the products or services in order to achieve your customer satisfaction, which will make the customer what? Happy. And when the customer is happy, we know that we have fully involved everyone. So that is your total quality management. Now we look into the total quality elements on a large business. Remember, when this methodology was introduced, it was a comparison between a small and a large business, to say between a small and a large business, which business can implement the total quality management easier compared to the other one. Hence, we focus on the following elements, and the analysis we make is based on a large business, to say between a small and a large business, which one can implement continuous improvement to processes and systems, and which one can implement continuous skills development or education and training, and which one can implement total client or customer satisfaction, and which one can implement adequate financial financing and capacity, and which one can implement monitoring and evaluation. But for grade 12 purpose, we focus on the large business. And remember, I made a distinction to say when we're looking into terminologies, we said small businesses are businesses which hire fewer employees with small resources and makes less profit. But a larger business has more employees, more resources, and makes more profit. So we'll be looking into each element to say, for a large businesses, why is it easy for them to implement this total quality management? What are the positives for a large business and what are the negatives? Now, let's start with the first, the impact of the first element, which is continuous improvement. Remember, with continuity, it means something that will be happening maybe every day. But then when you're looking into improvement is to make something better. To improve is to make something better or to upgrade. So the business here with the element called continuous improvement, it means they will forever now improve or make their processes better and their systems better. So in order for them to continuously improve their processes and systems, it is easier for a large business. Why? Let us look into the positives. A larger business is able to do continuous improvement to processes and systems because a large business has more resources to check on quality performance in each unit, so that if there's a unit that does not do quality, they will be able to improve that unit. So they will be able to do the quality checks on each department and be able to continuously improve the processes and system. So they will be able to detect if a particular unit is doing well or not. Again, a large business has what now? Has enough capital resources, which is now money, capital resources available for new equipment required for new processes and systems. So if they want to improve the process, they'll be able to have the money to do so. And again, a large business has a person dedicated to improving the processes and systems. Unlike a small business, one, doesn't have more resources. Two, a small business doesn't have enough capital and it doesn't have a person dedicated, because here we're talking about your tech shop. We are talking about a business that is a sole trader because it's owned by one person who makes all the management decisions. But with their large business, they have now more resources. They have more capital resource available for new equipment if they want to improve the equipment, because the equipment also can be part and parcel of the process and system to ensure that they improve the service. However, when we are talking now about the negatives, for a large business, the negatives are the idea that large businesses now manufacturing or the large-scale manufacturing can complicate quality control as the business continuously improve, add new equipment, new machines. It means the new machines will produce a lot of products. Let's say they've bought a new machine or a new equipment which allows them to produce like 10,000 per day. It means per week they have produced how many now? 10,000 times 5, which is your 50,000 products. So the question is, will they be able to inspect the final products? So that's where now the negative is, because now they are able to continuously improve. They have the latest technology, but the quality control now becomes difficult because this is a large business with more resources and which is producing more products. Or to say, if they're producing 1 million products per month, will they be able to inspect all those products? So the quality control, remember, is something we talked about, because is the inspecting of the final product. They will not be able to inspect 1 million products. So that can be a challenge. And then when it comes to improving, it means things have to change. So systems and processes take time and effort to implement in a large business, as buy-in may delay the process. And then again, another challenge is that the business is risking changing parts of the business that are actually working well. So that is also another challenge, because when you continuously improve as a business, sometimes you would improve or change a machine that is actually working well. So that can be now a negative for a large business. And when we are looking into a continuous improvement to processes and systems on a large business. Now we move, it complicates the quality control process. It complicates the quality control process, and then the time to change might be time consuming, as you can see there. And then we see now another element, which is the impact of continuous skills development on a large business. Now, continuous skills development is to say the business will continuously improve the skills of their workforce. Because this is a large business, it becomes easier for them. Look at the positives. Is because a large business now has a human resource department dedicated to skills training and development of workers. So that is the advantage. And they also have a human resource expert who would ensure that training programs are relevant to increase customer satisfaction. So it is easier for a large business than a small business. A sole trader only has one owner who makes all the decisions, who works and also manages the business. So they don't have the human resource department who will do that for them. So it is an advantage for a large business. Another advantage is that they may be able to hire qualified trainers to train employees on a regular basis. That is another advantage. But then when we are looking now into negatives, is that poor communication processes in a large business may prevent effective training from taking place, because some large businesses have so many departments, so some employees might not get the information about training. And then another disadvantage is that as they continuously give their workers skills, trained employees may leave for better jobs after they have gained more skills. And then another disadvantage is that in a large business, some employees will not get a chance to hear about training. So it demotivates employees if they do not receive recognition for training. So those are the negatives of now continuous skills development on a large business. And then as we proceed to another element, which is the total client satisfaction on a large business, the element now focuses on making sure that customers are satisfied. And we look into it to say, between a small and a large business, which one is able to implement much better. So a large business has advantages, obviously, because a large business can use customer surveys to monitor customer satisfaction or analyze customer needs. These can be questionnaires that are given to customers after a service or after they have bought a product from that particular business, so that they check if the customers are satisfied or not. Furthermore, this will also allow the business to continuously promote a positive company image, because they have the resources and the money to do so. And then it may lead to high customer loyalty, and the business may be able to charge higher prices, because they'll be able to make products based on what the customers need, because they're able to make customer service to check what customers need and make a product based on what the customers need. And this may lead to increased profitability, because they're able to make the product as per the request of the customer. So this will lead to customers being satisfied and being happy with what the product is being produced by the business. Then when we look into negatives, employees now who make the product. Let's say we know that we are in South Africa, and then we have maybe Nike as a product. We also have Adidas, which are products that are internationally made or produced in other countries. So since they are produced in other countries, employees who make those clothes or who make those sneakers, they don't know about us as customers. So what they're basically saying is that it is difficult for large businesses to achieve total client satisfaction, because employees who seldomly come into contact with customers oftenly do not have a clear idea of what will satisfy the needs of the customer. So as a large business, the production would take place in another country, but they would sell it maybe to South Africa. For instance, Nike's production of sneakers takes place in Indonesia, or Malaysia. But then now the workers there don't know how the South African customers perceive the product. So it is difficult to satisfy now customers because employees seldomly come into contact or they come to talk to customers about how the product will satisfy them. So it becomes a challenge. And then monopolistic companies have increased bargaining power because remember, your monopolistic companies, these are companies that are the only suppliers. So since they are the only suppliers, they don't care about making sure that customers are pleased. Hence, they say they have increased bargaining power, so they do not necessarily have to please customers. And then not all employees may be committed to total client satisfaction, which might be now a disadvantage for a large business. Then, the impact of adequate financing and capacity on a large business. Here we're talking about enough. The term adequate means enough. So a large business has enough financing and capacity compared to a small business. Hence, a large business have sufficient financing to test everything before they implement, meaning they can come up with a product idea, try it. If it doesn't work, they cancel, and they'll be able to take the financial loss because they have enough money. However, they can afford to have systems in place to prevent defects in raw materials and products. So that as well can be an advantage because they can have systems in place or hire people to check if raw material is quality or not before production takes place because of having enough financing, which now means enough money. Furthermore, they are able to afford product research or market researchers to gather information about such. So that is enough money to test everything before actually implementing. So that is their advantage of a large business, but a small business doesn't have that advantage. Let's look into the negatives. The negatives of a large business is that if the demand for companies' products increases now, the business may lack the capital required to fund the production of stock to fill orders. So sometimes, as much as a business has enough capital, sometimes the orders would come. If they attract international markets, it means now they have to deal with customers in the international market, which can be a challenge to fill the orders because they need to think about the South African market and think about the international markets as well. And then with fast growing companies, they can use large amounts of capital as they try to balance their normal operations and their expansion. So as they try to attract customers in other countries, that means they're taking money and allocating it to the international market. And while they are also having the domestic market, which is the South African market, it means they will not be able now to balance their financial capacity to say, are we able to fund the South African market and also fund the international market? So that can be a challenge for these large businesses. Then the impact of monitoring and evaluation of processes on a large business. So the positives here is that a large business is able to monitor and evaluate their processes. Remember, to monitor is to look into something and study it carefully, but to evaluate is to check now the process. So they're able to check the processes of whatever that is happening inside the business, including the production, to say how is the product being made. Hence, the advantage as a large business is that this will prevent product defects, meaning errors in the process of making the product, and will minimize customer complaints. And then it allows for quality control checks and procedures at key points. And then it may be equipped to get things done right the first time. And then quality cycles meet on a regular basis to evaluate the process in terms of quality. And then that is your monitoring and evaluation. So the business would be able to apply your prevention measures to inspect at key points, as they are saying, allowing quality control. And remember, quality control has to do with inspecting the final product before it can go out. So they'll also do quality assurance, which now they might be equipped to get the product right the first time. Hence, they are checking while they're making the product. When we look into negatives now of monitoring and evaluation, now large businesses are often divided and they have departments who work in silos, meaning in isolation. They work interdependently. So it means they work in isolation. So it becomes difficult now to do monitoring and evaluation. Because of that particular reason, it often takes longer to detect a problem for a large business because they produce a lot of products at a time. And then it is not viable to check quality of all products because if you are producing, as we said, 1 million, it is not easy to inspect all 1 million products, which becomes difficult for a business. Then now we look into application of the PDCA model. Remember, we're looking into the impact of the total quality management elements. We focus on 5: your continuous improvement to processes and systems, your continuous skills development. We also look into your total client satisfaction, your adequate financing and capacity, and we looked into your monitoring and evaluation of processes. So we're looking and focusing on a large business, the positives and negatives, to say a large business is able to apply those elements much better compared to a small business. We looked into positives and negatives, and the focus, remember, should be on a large business. Now we look into the application of the PDCA model, which is the plan, do, check, and act as needed. The model focuses on the idea of improving the product. And this model is part and parcel of the continuous or the element of total quality management, which we call continuous improvement to processes and systems. So in the process of improving, this is how now, or this is the methodology a business can use to improve their product. They should plan, they should do, they should check or analyze and act as needed. So planning now would involve the business should identify the problem, and then they should develop a plan for improvement to the process and system. After developing that plan on how to improve, they need to now implement the process or system, and then the business would have to ensure that they implement the change on a smaller scale. That is do. So the planning is to plan on how to solve the problem on paper, and then the doing is actually doing now. Actually, what is on the paper is being implemented, is being turned into action during do, but then it is being implemented on a small scale. And then your check and analyze, the focus there is checking whether the processes are working effectively or not, or determining whether it has made a difference or not. And then act as needed is to ensure that all now departments are implement the improvement. But then when we check now, when you implement on a smaller scale, you check whether the process are working effectively. You also determine whether it has made a difference or not. But when you're checking into act as needed, you ensure that all departments implement the improvement, and then if the change was successful, you implement it on a wider scale. So that is your plan, which is to plan on paper. After planning on paper, you do, which is to turning it into action, but you turn it into an action on a smaller scale. Then you also check whether the processes are working effectively and determine whether it has made a difference. If before the action or the doing, then there was 20 customers, but after there's 100 customers, it means now it has made the difference. Then you act as needed. If it has made the difference, you ensure that all departments implement the improvement. And if the change was successful, you implement it on a wider scale, meaning all or the entire organization now has to implement. Then we move to the quality cycle. Quality cycle it refers to a small group of voluntary workers who meet on a regular basis to discuss quality-related matters. This can be a group of 5 to 10 workers who discuss quality-related matters. Let's see what is their role or their importance. Their importance is that this group will investigate problems and suggest solutions to management. And they are also part and parcel of continuous improvement to processes and system. as now an element of total quality management, because it talks about improving. The plan, do, check, and act also focuses on improving, and the importance of quality cycles also focus on improving. So they investigate problems and suggest solutions to management as a group. They also solve problems related to quality and implement improvements. They also ensure that there is no duplication of activities in the workplace, and they would ensure that they make suggestions for improving systems and processes in the workplace. They would also increase the demand for the products or services of the business, and also create harmony and high performance in the workplace. So that is the role or importance of quality cycle. However, we also have businesses that implement the total quality management, but they implement the technique poorly. So what is the impact of TQM if poorly implemented by the business? This means a business has tried to implement, but they were not successful. Then we'll see that by a business that is setting unrealistic deadlines that may not be achieved. That's one, because they did not apply proper total quality management. Another one is that they will not be able to achieve their deadline. Now, employees may not be adequately trained, resulting in poor quality management. Now, that would focus on the continuous improvement of skills. So it means now continuous skills development was not applied. So we'll see that employees will not be adequately trained. That is that element. Then number 2, a decline in productivity because of stoppages. That would mean now they did not improve their processes and systems. Maybe the machines are not functional anymore. So it means they didn't apply the element we call the continuous improvement to processes and systems. So it led to a stop in production because of failure to improve the equipment. Furthermore, businesses may not be able to make necessary changes of the products to satisfy customers. So it means now, again, they fail to improve, and they have failed to do total client satisfaction, which focuses on making sure that the customer is satisfied. And then the business image may suffer because of poor quality products or defects, and that will also lead to customers not being satisfied. So that would be a problem. So it is important to implement the total quality management successfully for a business so that they are able to satisfy customers. Now, let's look into ways in which total quality management can reduce the cost of quality. Why are we talking about reducing the cost of quality? Because to make quality products and to ensure that products are quality is very expensive. So since it is very expensive, let's look into ways in which total quality management and those elements can reduce the cost of quality. The business would have to introduce quality cycles to discuss ways to improve the quality of work or workmanship, because if workers now are saving resources and are working efficiently and effectively, then that would save the business money, and they would ensure that they schedule activities to eliminate duplication of tasks. So this is to focus on making sure that whatever that is done in the processes of the business or in the business procedures, it is not repeated. Now, and then they need to share responsibility for quality output amongst management and workers. So that as well is part and parcel of reducing the cost of quality by making sure that responsibility of the quality of the product or the final product is shared. Everyone takes responsibility if something didn't go well. That would allow everyone to be serious on making sure that total quality management is implemented successfully. Because remember, total quality management now is the involvement of everyone and cooperation of everyone in the organization. And then they would also have to train employees at all levels, which would be the implementation of the continuous skills development as an element. So that everyone understands their role in quality management. Furthermore, they need to work closely with the supplier to improve the quality of the raw material or input, because the raw material can also affect the quality of the product. So that is the end of your quality of performance. Let us look into typical exam questions that you might face we have now a scenario with total bags manufacturers. Total bags manufacturers now checks the quality of their carpets during and after the production process, and then the supervisor uses tools available to improve the quality of the product. Now let's see the questions. We have question 1, question 2, and question 3. Now, question 1, identify 2 quality concepts that are applicable to total bag manufacturers and motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario above. And then differentiate between quality control and quality assurance and explain the benefit of a good quality management system. So that is the first part. Now, read the scenario, understand the scenario. The scenario requires from you to identify the quality concepts, and it only requires 2 concepts. Check the scenario again. Total bag manufacturers checks the quality of their carpets during and after the production process. And then the supervisor uses tools available to improve the quality of the product. Now, use those keywords to identify which concepts. Remember, a concept that talks about checking. There are 2 concepts that focus on checking when it comes to quality concepts. The first one checks or inspects the final product. The other one checks during and after. And I've taught you very well to say the one that focuses on inspecting the final product, that is quality control. But the one that focuses on inspecting now your checks carried out during and after, we know that that should be quality assurance. So the first sentence looks into quality assurance. And then we also have 2 other concepts, which is quality performance and management. The supervisor uses tools available to improve the quality of the product. So that now is considered to be quality management, because whatever tool that is used to improve, it will help the business to achieve consistency. So that is quality management. Then let us see the solution if I'm correct or not. So I was just analyzing the scenario with you so that you understand. Now, the solutions. The first one, quality assurance, 2 marks. That's correct. Why? Because total bag manufacturers checks quality of their carpets during and after the production process. That's 1. Then quality management, 2 marks, because the supervisor uses tools available to improve the quality of the product. That's 1 again. Then you have your 6. Then solutions. As we proceed, again, the difference between now quality control and quality assurance is that quality control is the inspection of the final product. Inspection of the final product to ensure that it meets the required standards, while quality assurance is carried out during and after the production process to ensure that the required standards have been met at every stage of the process. Remember, this happens during, this becomes your key, but this now quality control final product guides you to say this is quality control, but checks carried out during and after guides you to say this is quality assurance. And then when we are looking into quality control again, it includes setting targets first, measuring the performance of the products, and taking corrective measures. You are basically approving or declining if quality has been achieved or not, because you started by setting the target. However, when we're looking into quality assurance, it ensures that every process is aimed at getting the product right the first time and preventing mistakes from happening. Hence, you check if quality has been met at each and every stage of the process. So hence we are saying the aim is to get the product right the first time and prevent mistakes from happening. However, quality control, again, you can not only inspect the final product, you need to check the raw material or employees or machinery or the workmanship or products that are used to ensure that high standards have been maintained before the process of making the product. And then when we are looking into quality assurance, because this happens during, which is very critical, because this happens during, this is the built-in of quality. Because it happens during, while we start making the product. This is the built-in of quality during, when we are checking during and after the production process and checking if the required standards have been met at every stage. We are building quality then. We are not checking, we are making the product. And when we make, we need to build quality then and assure the business or the managers or the customers to say, we will check during and after. So this is the building in of quality as opposed to checking for quality, because we are not inspecting the final product during quality assurance. This happens during the making of the product. So we consider it as the built-in of quality as opposed to checking for the final product. And remember, this one is inspection of the final product. The final product, but quality assurance is checks carried out during and after. So that's how you'd get your 2, 2, 2, 2 and get your 8 marks. And as we proceed again, advantages or benefits of a good quality management system: effective customer services can be rendered, 2 ticks, and then time and resources can be used efficiently, 2 ticks, and then productivity increases through proper time management, 2 ticks, and then products and services are constantly improved, resulting in an increased level of customer satisfaction, 2 ticks as well. And that's how you'd get your 8. Then the others as well, they are also allowed. Then we have another activity, Sci-Bono traders. You need to read the scenario and look into the questions. Now I'll give you 5 minutes to read the question and answer based on that. So let me give you 5 minutes so that you can answer, and then we'll check whether you understood the functions or not. And we are back. Let us see and hope that you guys have did very well. Now let me read the scenario. We have Sci-Bono traders. Sci-Bono traders bought raw material from JJ suppliers who did not deliver on time. This results in delay in the manufacturing process. And then Sci-Bono traders is concerned about their productivity levels. Now identify 2 functions that are directly affected by the challenges in the scenario above. Now you need to identify 2 and motivate your answer. Now let's see what is the solution: purchasing and production. Now, is it correct? Sci-Bono traders bought raw material from JJ suppliers who did not deliver on time. So that's correct, because this is purchasing, 2 marks and 1 mark for the motivation. Production, 2 years, because this was a delay in the manufacturing process, and then that's 6 for you. And then we have another now activity, Sci-Bono Leather Limited. Sci-Bono Leather Limited is a large business that specializes in manufacturing of quality leather bags. They often upgrade their production process to stay ahead of their competitors, and customers are always requested to provide feedback about their products. Now, this scenario is focused on the total quality management elements. Identify the total quality management elements applied by Sci-Bono Leather Limited and motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario, and evaluate the impact of one of the total quality elements identified in question 1.1 for 8 marks. Now, let us look into it. The scenario, you need to read and understand. The first sentence says, Sci-Bono Leather Limited is a large business that specializes in manufacturing of quality leather bags. That's true. They often upgrade their production process. Now, upgrade of their production process, you need to think about it. Which element out of the 5? And to be able to stay ahead of their competitors. And then customers are always requested to provide feedback about their products. Now, customers, there are 5 elements. There's one that focuses on customers. There's one that focuses on improvement of processes and systems. Let's see what is the answer. Continuous improvement to processes and systems. That's correct, because They often upgrade their production process to stay ahead of their competitors. That's one. Then total client satisfaction, 2 marks, yes, because they always do what? Customers are always requested to provide feedback about their products or service. Now, this is part and parcel of what? Of your total client satisfaction, especially when it's said now your total client satisfaction. One of the positives is that customer surveys are used to analyze the needs of the customers or to check if the customers are satisfied. And when you look into continuous improvement to processes and systems, they are talking about having more resources to improve the processes so that they stay ahead. Remember, scenarios will be changed, but what is critical is to identify the key ways to say upgrading of the production process, and then continuous improvement, as I said, to improve is to make something better or upgrade what the process. Total client satisfaction, client now serves as a customer. So if you're forever requesting the customer to provide feedback about the product, you want to ensure that the customer is satisfied. So that is total client satisfaction, and you get 6 marks for that. And then when we analyze now the impact of continuous improvement to process and systems, the businesses have more resources to check on the quality performance in each unit. That's correct. They have enough now capital resource available for new equipment that might be required for processes and systems. And then a large business have a person dedicated to quality. That's 6 marks for that. And then they have large scale manufacturing can complicate quality control. That becomes now a negative. Remember, with the question impact is and or you are allowed to provide positives or negatives, and then systems and processes take time and effort to implement in a large business, as buy-in may delay the process. So that totals to 8. Then as we proceed, total client satisfaction, large businesses use customer surveys to monitor customer satisfaction and analyze customer needs, and then continuously promote a company image, and then it may lead to higher customer loyalty, and the business may be able to charge higher prices. Then disadvantages of total client satisfaction: employees seldomly come into contact with customers and oftenly do not have a clear idea of what the customers need for them to be satisfied. And then monopolistic companies have increased bargaining power, so they do not necessarily care or have anything to worry about when it comes to satisfying the customer. And then not employees may be committed to total client satisfaction, which might affect their business. Now, the summary of our lesson: we looked into defining the term quality, the term quality control, quality assurance, quality management, quality performance, and we differentiated between quality control and quality assurance. We also differentiated between quality management and quality performance, and also explained the advantages or benefits of a good quality management system. We also looked into how each function can contribute to the success of the business, and also identified, had a typical exam question to say it would also require you to identify a business function from a scenario. So we have general management, production, purchasing, marketing, financial. We also have public relations and administration function together with the human resource. The focus, remember, was on how each function can contribute to the success. But it's important to know what each function does, what is the role and duty of each function, in order for you to be able to identify the function from the scenario. And we also looked into the total quality management elements, whereby we looked into the definition first and also evaluated the impact of continuous improvement to processes and systems. We also evaluated the impact of continuous skills development or education and training, total client or customer satisfaction. We also evaluated the impact of adequate financing and capacity, and looked into the last one, which is evaluating the impact of monitoring and evaluation of the quality processes. And we also looked into explaining the application of the PDCA model: plan, do, check, and act as needed. And remember, this is part and parcel of continuous improvement to processes and systems. We also looked into explaining the role or importance of quality cycles as part of continuous improvement to processes and systems. The two here, remember, they are part and parcel of continuous improvement to processes and systems because they focus on improving. And then we also explained or discussed the impact of TQM if poorly implemented, to say if the 5 elements were not properly implemented, the business might have disadvantages. Then another one is to explain or recommend or suggest ways in which TQM can reduce the cost of quality. That was our lesson. So hoping you understood. Thank you for watching. Keep well. Goodbye.